Hello, welcome to the All In podcast with Nate Peo. I, of course, am your host, Nate Peo. So today, wanted to talk a little bit about should you or should you not? What should you be doing in this COVID-19 thing going on in April 2020? Should you be pursuing side hustles? Should you be pursuing hobbies? Or should you just be like trying to get through the day? And the real answer is you got to do what's right for you. And that could be many different things to many different people. But you should ask yourself, are you doing the things that are pushing you forward to be the best version of yourself? A lot of times people talk about success and being successful and what is successful. And to me, my definition of successful is, are you living the life you are meant to be? Are you living the best version of yourself possible? Every person has unique gifts to the world. And are you sharing those gifts with everybody that you can? Some people are good at bringing a smile to people's face. Some people are good at giving inspiration. Some people are good at making really good art that people admire. Some people are good at making music. Like everybody has this unique gift. And sometimes we don't realize what our gift is for the world. So we want to share that. And part of figuring out what our gift is, sometimes we don't know. So sometimes we have to go down this path of figuring it out. Um, and I think this time is an interesting time to go through and ask yourself that question because um, you could be going down a path to figure out what this gift is, or you could be ignoring it and not waiting for this to pass. So no matter what, at the end of the day, this is going to pass. It's definitely life changing. It's definitely altering. It's definitely gonna be painful for a lot of people. Um, but this isn't the first time in the history of the world that something so life changing has happened, and it's for sure not going to be the last. So when this all passes and we go back to whatever our lives become, we're going to look back and say, hey, did I do the things that I want to do to push my life forward? There's a quote I wanted to read. It's by my favorite author, Paulo Coelho. It says, one day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do the things you always wanted. Do it now. And whether or not there's a major catastrophe or just it's a sunny day out, you should be looking to be that best version of yourself possible, looking to find your gifts, sharing your gifts with the world. And I want to tell you, um, I went through a period of this before. In 2008, the Great Recession happened, lost my job, had a business that I tried to start up in the midst of it that was very unsuccessful, and ended up losing two homes to foreclosure, and it had a lot of failure. And during this period of time, I had this idea that I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more for myself, and I wanted to pursue my gifts. And I wasn't quite sure what my gifts to the world would be, and I chased some things that probably weren't in the right interest. But a lot of the stuff that I didn't do haunts me. Like I didn't really put forth the effort to get out of my comfort zone and to figure out my gifts. And I look back at that time with a lot of um, disappointment in that I could have done more. That I let things that don't matter hold me back. Things that I was worried what other people might think, or I wasn't an expert enough in the field that I was trying to pursue. I was latching on to ideas and trying to explore things. And I just kind of felt like an imposter. I felt like I wasn't, it wasn't for me. It was for somebody else to do. And then I look back now and I say, I could have done those things. I just gave up on myself and I gave up on chasing my dream. I gave up on finding my path. Now, part of that might be it was meant to be to get me to the point where I'm at now, that I would have a better understanding of who I wanted to be. But what I do know is I regret not doing more, not chasing it. So I would encourage you in this time, or any time for that matter, is to start looking for what your gift is and start looking to share it with the world. Um, it, it could be anything. To me, I think I've started to identify what my gift is, and I like to think of myself as a catalyst for other people to be inspired to do great things, to make them want to be a better version of themselves to pursue their gifts. And what I mean by that is I'm not somebody that's like super motivated all the time, but I tend to get really pumped up and really excited. I used to think I used to get caught up in the moment. And I was kind of like riding the wave with everybody else on some project or some activity that I was really pumped about, but I'm starting to realize that I bring a lot of that energy to that group and I help lift everybody else up. So together we're forming a better version of each other and able to chase the best version of ourselves possible. So for me, now that I'm starting to identify what that catalyst is, I'm out there trying to um, reach out to as many people as I can because I know I feed off the energy of others that bring ideas to the table, that bring crazy ideas, that bring fun projects, that bring exciting ways to work out, or great conversations, or funny things to laugh about, or great songs to listen to. Like I feel like I feed off that energy. When I feed off that energy, I'm able to pull more energy out of people so that together we're all chasing more exciting and wild things. So that's kind of my take on what you should be doing now and why you shouldn't ignore the chances. Now you don't have to go out there and create a side hustle and be trying to sell a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of stuff you don't believe in. But know with this that there will be a time when this is over and it will pass. And will you look back and say, I wish I had done more in that period of time? Or did I sit back and let fear hold me back? I didn't do the things I wanted to do. And I look back with regret. Now, part of that might be some learning to yourself of who you are and what you want to be. We all are on a different path. We all go at a different pace and we all have different desires in life. And we don't always have to look at, changing the world in some wild and magnificent way, but sometimes just being a little bit better than who we are can impact other people near us and close to our lives and make their lives a bit better. It's not about having huge, massive shifts in our lifestyle to make it better. A lot of it is just doing smaller, minute changes, getting up every day at the same time, holding the same schedule you had before this, getting your workouts in, writing in a journal, reading a book, reaching out to people that you connected with, and just having conversations so you're not falling into the monotony and this rut of being trapped in your house, waiting for the all clear signal to come out. Um, so that's my take on that. Um, but I think if you ask yourselves deep questions, say, hey, am I wanting to be the best version of myself possible? You're going to start finding the answers. You're going to start putting yourself in positions where you're going to find some encouragement along the way. You're going to start seeing some successes, and you're going to see some lifting of other people's spirits up by chasing this. So that's all I really got for you here. That's my take today. It's actually April 8th, and we probably still got a long ways to go. And I think this message, I wanted to talk about it today because I think for me, I'm about 3.5 in. Like everybody was kind of in this new position a few weeks ago, working from home, and there's some energy of kind of like, hey, we're all in this together. But I think it's starting to wear on people as they're at home and they're socially isolated, that we're losing steam and losing um, some motivation to keep going and to still be happy and to still do the things we find excitement about. We're getting bored at home. Um, and remember, motivation for me isn't always lasting. It's actually very fleeting. But when we get up and we do the things we don't want to do anyways, that's what brings us progress. That's what takes us closer to our goals. So we want to keep doing the things we do, keep sticking in routines, because we're going to have up days and low days. But so it's important to keep that momentum rolling. Um, I didn't want to really do this episode. I, just like you, wanted to sleep in, wanted to not go work out, not get the ball rolling, just kind of, you know, be in a rut. But I know, looking back on my regrets before, is if I didn't do the things I wanted to do every single day and keep pushing the ball forward, keep moving the needle just a little bit, then 5 years from now, I'm going to look back at this time and say, I wish I had done more. I wish I had not given up on myself, because I knew that I had more in me to give. So, anyways, hope you enjoy your day. And once again, this is the All In Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Peo. If you found value in this, please leave a comment, or even better would be to share this message with one or two people who you think would find value in it as well. Anyways, have a great day. Take care.